Inflation is one of the most misunderstood yet powerful forces affecting your financial life. Unlike sudden market crashes or visible economic crises, inflation works quietly in the background, gradually eroding the value of your money over time. Many people don't notice its effects immediately because it happens slowly, but over the long term, inflation can significantly reduce your purchasing power and limit your ability to build wealth. Understanding how inflation works and how it impacts your finances is essential if you want to protect your money and secure your future. Today we will talk about how inflation is secretly destroying your money. So, before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. At its core, inflation is the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services increases over time. As prices rise, each unit of currency buys fewer goods and services than before. This means that even if your income stays the same, your cost of living effectively increases. For example, something that costs $10 today might cost $12 or $15 in the future. While this may not seem like a drastic change in the short term, over several years or decades, the impact becomes substantial. One of the most dangerous aspects of inflation is how it affects savings. When you keep money in a traditional savings account with low interest rates, the return you earn is often lower than the rate of inflation. This means that while your account balance may increase slightly, the real value of your money is actually decreasing. In other words, your money is losing purchasing power even though it appears to be growing. This is why relying solely on saving can be a risky strategy for long-term financial security. Inflation also has a compounding effect, which makes it even more powerful over time. Just as investments can grow through compounding, inflation compounds in the opposite direction, continuously reducing the value of money. For example, if inflation averages 3% per year, the value of your money could be cut in half in about 24 years. This long-term erosion can have serious consequences for your financial goals, especially if you are not actively working to counteract it. Another way inflation impacts your life is through everyday expenses. You may notice that groceries, fuel, housing, and healthcare costs tend to rise over time. Even small increases in these essential expenses can add up and strain your budget. This is particularly challenging for individuals with fixed incomes, as their earnings may not keep pace with rising costs. As a result, they may need to cut back on spending or dip into their savings to maintain their standard of living. Wages do not always keep up with inflation, which creates an additional challenge. While salaries may increase over time, they often lag behind the rising cost of living. This gap can reduce your real income, meaning you have less purchasing power despite earning more money. This is one of the reasons why many people feel financially pressured even when their income increases. Inflation also affects debt in complex ways. On one hand, inflation can reduce the real value of fixed-rate debt over time, making it easier to repay. For example, if you have a fixed mortgage, the amount you owe remains the same while the value of money decreases. However, inflation can also lead to higher interest rates, which makes borrowing more expensive. This can impact loans, credit cards, and other forms of debt, increasing the cost of financing. Investments are one of the most effective ways to combat inflation. Unlike cash, certain assets have the potential to grow in value over time and outpace inflation. Stocks, real estate, and other investments can provide returns that help preserve and increase your purchasing power. However, investing also comes with risks, and it is important to understand these risks before committing your money. Diversification is a key strategy for managing inflation risk. By spreading your investments across different asset classes, you reduce the impact of poor performance in any single area. For example, while stocks may perform well during certain periods, other assets like commodities or real estate may provide protection during times of high inflation. A diversified portfolio can help balance risk and improve your chances of maintaining long-term growth. Another important concept is real return versus nominal return. Nominal return is the percentage increase in your investment without accounting for inflation, while real return adjusts for inflation. For example, if your investment earns 5% but inflation is 3%, your real return is only 2%. Understanding this distinction is crucial for evaluating the true performance of your investments. Inflation can also influence government policies and central bank decisions. Central banks often adjust interest rates to control inflation. When inflation is high, interest rates may be increased to slow down spending and stabilize prices. Conversely, when inflation is low, interest rates may be reduced to encourage borrowing and economic growth. These changes can have a direct impact on your savings, investments, and borrowing costs. One of the less obvious effects of inflation is its psychological impact. As prices rise, people may feel less confident about their financial future. This can lead to changes in spending and saving behavior, sometimes resulting in poor financial decisions. For example, fear of rising prices may cause individuals to spend impulsively or avoid investing due to uncertainty. Inflation also plays a significant role in long-term financial planning. Whether you are saving for retirement, education, or a major purchase, it is important to account for future price increases. Failing to consider inflation can lead to underestimating how much money you will need to achieve your goals. This can result in financial shortfalls and added stress later in life. One practical way to protect yourself from inflation is to focus on increasing your income. While this may not always be easy, finding ways to grow your earnings can help offset rising costs. This could involve seeking promotions, developing new skills, or exploring additional income streams. Higher income provides greater flexibility and resilience in the face of inflation. Another strategy is to reduce unnecessary expenses and prioritize spending. By being mindful of your financial habits, you can free up more money for saving and investing. Even small adjustments in your daily spending can make a difference over time. This disciplined approach helps you stay ahead of inflation and maintain financial stability. Building an investment habit is one of the most effective ways to combat inflation. Regularly investing a portion of your income allows you to take advantage of market growth and compounding. Over time, this can help your money grow faster than inflation, preserving your purchasing power and building wealth. It is also important to stay informed about economic trends. Understanding how inflation is changing and what factors are driving it can help you make better financial decisions. While you cannot control inflation, you can adapt your strategy to minimize its impact. Emergency funds should also be managed with inflation in mind. While it is important to have liquid savings for unexpected expenses, keeping too much money in low-interest accounts can expose you to inflation risk. Finding a balance between liquidity and growth is essential for maintaining financial security. Ultimately, inflation is an unavoidable part of the economic system. But it does not have to control your financial future. By understanding its effects and taking proactive steps, you can reduce its impact and protect your wealth. The key is to stay informed, remain disciplined, and adopt strategies that allow your money to grow over time. Inflation is a silent force that gradually erodes the value of your money. While it may not be immediately noticeable, its long-term effects can be significant. By recognizing how inflation works and taking steps to counteract it, such as investing, diversifying, increasing income, and managing expenses, you can safeguard your financial future. The sooner you take action, the better positioned you will be to maintain your purchasing power and achieve your financial goals. If you liked this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up, leave a comment, and click the button to subscribe.